Happy February, Group B. This is Amy, and I'm going to talk to you today about active listening skills. What are active listening skills? It's really showing people that you're listening by the way that your body language looks and by what we do. And the reason I'm interested in this is because I think as teachers, we need to make sure that we are demonstrating active listening because everyone, not just our students, want to be heard. And we also want to be understood. So it's not just a matter of listening, but then multitasking, but that active listening is truly focusing on each student and each person, parents, whoever we're working with as special education teachers, to be able to get show that active listening and that we care and that we will do what we can for our students. So the purpose statement today is that we will learn about listening techniques that are going to be very useful with our students and their families and our coworkers and administrators and all that, that exciting stuff. And it really kind of breaks down into some, basic four different things that our body language will show off of how we can actively listen. And first of all, it's taking a deep breath. No, this is definitely a practice presentation as well. And so we're going to take a deep breath and we're going to go through this stuff. But taking a deep breath, I think students, are intuitive. I believe we're intuitive at times as well. And students know if we're stressed or if we're not really listening to them, if we're not relaxed. And then that makes, I believe it makes them feel like a burden. And then they won't maybe trust us or they won't want to just talk to us. And so it's important that even though we might be really stressed about everything going on, that we take a deep breath and we just release that and then focus on those kiddos that are in front of us. For myself, I work in early childhood special education. I know a lot of you have other experiences. But the number 2 one is to be at their physical level. And so as I'm working with my 3-year-old, I'm often on the floor or I'm in a kid's chair, getting some good squat muscles going, just being at their level. And I think that when we work even with elementary kids or even our high school students, a lot of times perhaps they may have a physical disability. So just making sure that we're not towering over them. Now, personally, I'm 5'0", so I don't know if I would tower over anyone, but I know some of you are taller than that. And so just that importance of being at their level physically so we're not intimidating. I think that makes sense in any sort of case. And oftentimes that's why maybe we sit down when we talk to people, but just kind of for sure to keep that in mind to be at their level. And then third is that open stance. If you're standing for example, you wouldn't, I'm showing you right here, you wouldn't have your arms crossed, but you'd have your arms open. Perhaps your palms would be up versus in fists because that makes us look intimidating. But just open, natural stance may not be natural to you, but I think even hands on your hips versus crossed is an open stance that shows that you're ready to listen and that you're excited to hear what they have to say, or at least interested in what they might have to say. Then, if you are sitting down, that your legs are not crossed. Again, that whole idea of being open and not having anything in your body across, because that closes off that open communication. And then finally, our facial expressions are important. A lot of times we might get some really shocking information or perhaps swear words or name calling. It's even happened with 3-year-olds, and so just that whole idea of being ready for whatever and having a positive facial expression, but then also matching what they're telling you. If it's something very sad, we're obviously not going to be smiling. So matching what is being told to us. So just kind of being aware of your facial expressions and not being surprised and not being cross or upset, but just, just matching the conversation and paying attention to what's happening. Here's a nice visual that I found. Feel free to copy this. It was online, so I'm assuming it's open to everyone if you need it. It kind of goes through all those ideas about whole body listening in terms of our brains, our eyes looking at the person, ears are ready to hear, our mouth is quiet. I think that's something we'll talk about here in a second, that there's no, you don't need to talk. Our heart is truly open and cared. We care about what our kids are saying to us. Our hands are not like jittery, quiet, and feet on the floor if you can reach. And, you're just sitting up straight and not slouching or not falling asleep on the chair. That sort of stuff kind of makes sense in that point. Again, here, what to say? Usually not much. It's hard, I think, when you think about, oh my gosh, I don't have the right thing to say. We don't have the right thing to say. I mean, usually our kids can figure out stuff on their own with some assistance from us, but we do not need to have answers for them. So the important thing is to just not say anything. Again, verbal utterances of like, oh, yeah, yeah, is nice to a point as long as it's authentic and not put on and fake. So just that idea that you're listening to what they're saying. Here's some reinforcing of what you've just heard. If that whole restate what they've said, like it must have been scary when you thought the door was open or that your mom wasn't home, or ooh, that sounds awesome, you went to the Valley Fair, that's exciting. Just again, reinforcing that you heard what they said, but really quick. It's not like a retelling of the whole story. One thing that we do need to keep in mind is that we do need to act if a student is at risk of harming themselves or others, making threats or any of that stuff. And then, of course, to understand if there's legal things or rules of your school that you need to obviously reinforce and take care of if people are saying things. But I think it comes down to confidentiality and common sense. So that idea that it's not like a news story that we want to tell everyone if somebody is telling us this thing's not gossip, not sharing information, but it is maybe sharing information with our supervisors or the parents if necessary. Again, using your common sense, being a professional, and just remembering that our reason we're doing this is for our students and helping them, and it's not like we have good stories. I mean, we have good stories, but that's not the purpose of listening. So, and again, of course, bottom line, I always think if a student is saying threatening things or is at risk of hurting themselves or others, we obviously need to act and report that to supervisors or whoever is up on that chain of information. So this is exciting. Now we are going to practice. This is interesting, and I'm hoping this will work. We're going to practice. So what you can do is you can find your partner, a home, or a friend, and practice these active listening skills. Again, here is this is kind of what to remember. 6 easy things. Breathe, get at their level, have that open stance, check your face, don't interrupt, except to reinforce what was just said. I have a couple of, let's see if this works. I have 2 links. Myself pretending to be a high school student in both times. And please, like Dr. Johnson said, do not judge because they're pretty rough. But it's just an idea of really to practice what perhaps you will be able to use in real life. Again, remember those 6 easy steps of breathing, at their level, open stance, check your face, interrupt, reinforce what was said. And I'm going to let you pause it right there because you can check out these 2 websites. We are going to spend about 2 minutes checking out these websites, and then we will final thoughts. If you have some final thoughts, remember our little dude sitting on the chair. Simple steps just gives you an overview of what you can do for active listening. This makes it a little bit easier. Never really that easy, but it helps. And then, of course, finally, to remember our purpose as teachers. Thank you.